grandma's phone, it says her favorite grandchild. That was sent by me. Because I always knew that my cousin Teresa was going to call, and if any other grandchild was going to be there, they would have to see my name pop up. But even in that joke with my grandma, she loved us all the same. If you put us in a room, she loved every grandchild the same, every great-grandchild the same, every child the same. And no matter what we did, no matter how many times we would get into fights, us grandchildren, we'd fight over her jewelry, we'd fight over her bags, and like my cousin Michelle said, my cousin Crystal was the oldest, so she got first dibs. So that meant that her outfits to church always matched, because she was gonna pick the best. But even in those fights, my grandma always taught us to love and to forgive one another. And man, how I'd be so mad at her, like, how dare you tell me to forgive? You don't know what they did. And she would say, well, Mija, you gotta forgive, you gotta love, that's family. And that's one thing that she impressed on each and every one of us. There's 47 of us grandkids, and we overpower the 3 that were here. And even in that, she taught us to love one another, to dance with one another, to sing. I think each and every one of us, on our ways to church, we would sing. Psalms 23 was the one prayer that she stood by, because I'd be the most afraid of the dark, and she would make me recite it till I memorized it. And to see all of us grandkids together in her room, and even to the very end, to see her faith so strong in the Lord, whether it was worshiping and getting to hear and see each and every grandkid that she knows pray and worship for her was her legacy. And for all of us to be here today, I know Grandma would be laughing because she finally got all of y'all to come to church one last time and made sure you guys had your Sunday best. And that was the one thing that we loved about Grandma, is that she was always dressed to the nines. Her outfits matched her jewelry. She always had to have her lipstick on, always had her eyebrows done, and to know her was to love her. If you knew my grandma and if she knew you, you were gonna get that 6 a.m. phone call singing happy birthday. And she never missed a birthday. With all of us, with all 47 of us, she remembered birthdays. She remembered your birthday, she remembered your spouse's birthday, and she would wake you up and sing. And it wasn't just a happy birthday, it was her singing happy birthday to you. And I know each and every one of us will miss that the most, but that was just the way that she loved on every one of us. She was gonna sing happy birthday, and man, if there was one thing my grandma was gonna do, it was gonna chase my grandpa down. She loved that man endlessly. My grandpa had a stroke one time, and my grandma said, "Come on guys, we're hopping in his car." And as much as my grandpa loved my grandma, he loved his car even more. And the shock on his face when we showed up to that hospital room and said, "How'd you guys get here?" Because we made it there fast, and if there was one thing my grandma was going to teach every one of us was how to ride the bus, but that wasn't going to happen. She was going to go after my grandpa. And me and my brother just sat there and laughed, and we said, "Well, don't get mad, but she drove your car." And my brother made sure that she didn't scratch your rims. But that was the one thing that I think all of us grew up to love about my grandma and grandpa, was that they loved each other. They loved us fiercely. My cousin Michelle, unfortunately, she made my grandma a paddle, so she wasn't our favorite when it was time for us to get disciplined. But that was her way of loving each and every one of us. I'm proud for the legacy that she left us, the faith that we have in God. She instilled that deep within each and every one of us, her kids as well. Whether that was me and my cousin Casera and my dear Jessie being in the plays with her at Cathedral Faith, running around barefoot because we could at church finally. That was her legacy. Those were her proudest moments of, no matter what we did, being in church, seeing her son be in the play, seeing her grandkids be in the play, that's what made her the most happy. And I know right now, although we're grieving, she knew where she was going. She told us she knew where she was going. She was going to heaven, and she was ready to meet God. So I'm grateful that she leaves that behind. I'm grateful that even though we called her stubborn, it wasn't stubbornness that she had. She was very strong-willed, and she instilled that in each and every one of us. In the way that we all pull together to make something like this happen. Because if you knew my grandma's wishes were just to be cremated in a burning car, because she didn't want any of this for her. But to see my cousins and all of us pull together to make this possible for my grandma, I know she'd be proud. And I know she'd be even more prouder to see the legacy that we'll carry on and how we'll reunite as a family even stronger for her. So I want to thank you guys all for being here.